Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Today is November 3rd, 2015. Over the weekend, we were treated to a very bizarre news story. It was the story of a car running into the back of a pickup truck, rolling over supposedly, ejecting the driver who was not wearing his seatbelt out of the vehicle, and having his body land 20 feet above the freeway on the Colorado Street freeway exit sign. If you watch the mainstream coverage, I have the link here at my blog. I'm not going to share it because YouTube has been giving me a lot of strikes lately. You can come here and watch the news coverage. If you watch it, you will see this officer who tells the events of what happened is smirking and grinning and probably wondering why he's having to tell these far-fetched lies. Anyhow, I will share with you what I think this news story is really about, Truth Seeker. On one hand, it serves as public relations to remind you to wear your seatbelt, which is the message from the mainstream media. But with the details coded into this story, I think this is truly trying to tell us who will be in Super Bowl 50. As I share this with you, remember truth is often stranger than fiction. I have been showing how mainstream news story hoaxes are often riddled clues for what will happen in sports events as well as upcoming news stories. So check this out. This happened in Glendale. Glendale has Pythagorean gematria of 33, a number so often coded into hoaxes. Last year, Super Bowl 49 was hosted in Glendale, Arizona. This year it will be hosted by the 49ers in California. This person's body landed on Colorado Street. I have a strong hunch the Super Bowl will be the Denver Broncos from Colorado and the Green Bay Packers based on recent research which we will cover in this video. This officer who gave us the story, Officer Edgar Figueroa, the way his name is configured on TV has gematria of 96. Very special number to the Freemasons who control the police, who control the news media, and who control sports teams. The most Masonically coded team in the NFL is the Green Bay Packers, who happen to be in their 96th year of existence. Now check this out, Truth Seeker. Today, new details came out about this crash. The new details are that there was a lamb sacrifice for this person who crashed and died 5 days before this happened to them. Talk about bizarre, right? Who's having lamb sacrifices for them? His name, the person who crashed and ended up on the Colorado Street sign, is named Richard Pananian. Name gematria of 77. Green Bay equals 77. Broncos made their first playoffs in the year 77. The Broncos also won their first ever Super Bowl against the Packers. This weekend, they played each other on Sunday Night Football. So this story happened before Sunday night. It could have also been foreshadowing for this weekend's game. But I think we really are going to see these teams in Super Bowl 50. Richard Pananian equals 131 in gematria. Just like Super Bowl in simple English gematria. Richard Pananian and Super Bowl, a match. The Broncos won their last Super Bowl January 31st, 131, 1999 against the Atlanta Falcons. And we'll talk about the connection between the Packers and Falcons here soon enough. Here's the gematria. In the story, they referred to it as a bizarre freeway death. They also brought up the lamb sacrifice. Both of these things have gematria of 101, just like the span of days from the wreck to Super Bowl 50. In this story, the cousin of the deceased is named Armin Kardashian. Interesting name. Kardashian has gematria of 50. We're talking about upcoming Super Bowl 50. His name in simple English gematria sums to 137. 137 is the 33rd prime number, another number often coded into hoaxes. His name also has some interesting gematria. Armin equals 51 like the word conspiracy. Kardashian equals 86 like symbol. This person up on the freeway overpass is being used as a momentary symbol to remind people not to drive without a seatbelt. In the story, they referred to the lamb sacrifice as a matog. They said it happened October 25th, 2015. This word has gematria 50, like upcoming Super Bowl 50. And the date it happened on was a date with 50 numerology. They said that he was driving to Glendale Collision Center when he got in a car collision and ended up on the road sign. Collision Center has gematria of 74 and 83. Masonic equals 74. Football equals 83. The gematria together totals 116, or the number 911 upside down. It was also road sign 142 this happened at, which reminds of the 9/11 terrorist attack, which lasted 102 minutes or an hour and 42. The word terrorist equals 142. Al-Qaeda equals 102. 9/11 lasted 102 minutes. Our entire history is by the numbers, Truth Seeker. This is what I've been studying for years. That's why I can make a video like this and show how it all lines up and it possibly be correct, as insane as it sounds. Remember, though, it's not me who is insane. It's the people who are doing this, lying to us, and rigging the news and sports by the numbers. Lots of other interesting numbers here. The first Super Bowl was in the 47th season. The numbers that pop up really connect to the Super Bowl, the Colorado Street, all signs, Truth Seeker. Officer Figueroa, as his name was referred to in the article, has simple English gematria of 144. This also reminds of last year's Super Bowl in Glendale, Arizona. Remember, this wreck happened in Glendale, California. Glendale, Arizona equals 144. The Super Bowl was between the Patriots and Seahawks, who both came in with 14-4 records. It was the first Super Bowl with a Scientology commercial. Scientology equals 144. This is supposedly the man who died. The family is now trying to raise $50,000 on GoFundMe. Another 50. Check this out, though, Truth Seeker. Colorado equals 83. So does football. Football equals 83. And the reason I bring this up is because Peyton Manning, the coach or the quarterback of the Denver Broncos, is born March 24th, the 83rd day of the year. What's interesting to note is he almost joined the 49ers before deciding to go with the Broncos while the stadium was being built, where Super Bowl 50 will be hosted. Anyhow, he's born on the 83rd day of the year, this number that corresponds with football. Tom Brady is born August 3rd. Tom Brady and Peyton Manning are the face of the NFL. They have been for a generation. They have the numbers that go with the word football. Colorado, the state, also happens to have gematria of 83. And check this out. Peyton Manning's birthday produces a life number of 32, a special number in the NFL. NFL equals 32. In Jewish gematria, NFL equals 66. First Super Bowl in the 47th season, the year 66. There's 32 teams in the NFL. America equals 32. They call it America's game. Denver equals 32. Broncos equals 32. Peyton equals 32. He has a life lesson number of 50. Again, this year's Super Bowl 50 is upcoming. San Francisco equals 50. He has a birth numerology of 122. San Francisco equals 122. It's on the 122nd meridian. If he faces Aaron Rodgers, the Green Bay quarterback, Aaron Rodgers equals 12/2. Or excuse me, his birthday is December 2nd, giving him a connection to the number as well. Denver Broncos and Levi's Stadium both equal 154. Levi's Stadium is where Super Bowl 50 is at. Some other interesting numbers here, Truth Seeker, but let's move along for a moment. This weekend, the Sunday night game was Packers versus Broncos, just days after this car accident story. The money line on the game was 133, which reminded of what the Packers record was the year they lost to the Broncos. Might have been a tell. Peyton Manning in this week's Sunday Night Football game tied Brett Favre's record with 186 career wins. Brett Favre played his career with the Packers. Peyton Manning achieved this with the playing against the Packers. Notice that the word landmark in Jewish gematria equals 186. This was a landmark in the NFL, the most wins ever by a QB. Peyton Manning has now tied it. Peyton Manning is currently 39 years old. Sunday Night Football equals 39. Rozelle equals 39. It's Howard Rozelle who created Monday Night Football and Sunday Night Football. Sunday Night Football, the acronym equals 39. The sum of the score was 29-10. The game added up to 39. Peyton's 39 years old for this landmark game, this staged game by the numbers. Aaron Rodgers in the game had 77 passing yards. Green Bay equals 77. You talk about a tribute by the numbers. A net of 50 yards, upcoming Super Bowl 50. Peyton Manning, they scored 29 points. He had 29 attempts. His initials PM equal 29. There was a safety at the end of the game to give the 29th points for the sum of 39 with 12:21 left. Talk about a tribute. 12 plus 21, 33. Earlier this year, the Packers played on September 28th, which in history is the date of the original Monday Night Football game, a game played on a date with 39 numerology. The game this year, the first Monday night game, had a sum of 66, like the year of the first Super Bowl, like NFL and Jewish gematria. Chiefs-Packers is also what the first Super Bowl was at the end of the 66 season. If you write out 50, it sums to 66. The sum of this game was 66. Just so many tributes here, Truth Seeker. Aaron Rodgers, born 12-2, connecting to San Francisco. This year on the date with 49 numerology, the Packers played in San Francisco. Again, the 49ers are hosting this year. I think these might all be signs of what's to come. Green Bay's in their 96th year of existence. The Broncos are in their 55th year of existence. What's interesting is Freemason equals 96. So does Satanism. Satanism equals 96. Freemasonry is Satanism in disguise. The word Satan itself equals 55. So perhaps a perfect pairing in that regard. The Broncos won their first ever Super Bowl over the Packers, January 25th, 1998. They won their next Super Bowl over the Atlanta Falcons. And why this stands out is because of the connection between Atlanta and Green Bay. Brett Favre was drafted by the Falcons as the 33rd overall pick before being traded to the Packers. As it happens, Wisconsin and Georgia, the homes of the Packers and the Falcons, they are the only two states with gematria of 44. Wisconsin and Georgia, the only two states with gematria of 44. This year on the date with 44 numerology, they were the only two teams in the NFL to score 44 points, or have games that combined to 44 points, and they both won. No other games combined to 44, just the games with Wisconsin and Georgia on the date with 44 numerology. This is all evidence of how the league is rigged by the numbers. And what I am bringing into that, on top of that, is showing how news stories are often riddled jokes that code what will happen in pro sports. Prince Harry visiting with Obama on the second day of the World Series, talking about the Invictus Games, which has identical gematria to baseball, was a hint at who would win the World Series. If you learn this code, if you have the eyes to see, you can figure out what is really being done in this world and what these stories are really all about. The Masons, the Zionists, they have a lot of fun at our expense. These people have a sense of humor. This ridiculous story really might be a tell for Super Bowl 50. Until next time. Encore, one last point. Super Bowl 50 is in San Francisco this year. The Church of Satan was established in the year 66 in San Francisco. That's the same year of the first Super Bowl. NFL and Jewish gematria equals 66. Now check this out. I said that Freemason and Satanism equal 96. The Packers are in their 96th year of existence. The Broncos are in their 55th year of existence. Satan and Satanism coming together. We're talking about the Church of Satan in San Francisco. If you write out 50, it sums to 66, this number related. The date the church was established was a date with 119 numerology, just like the words Star of David, All-Seeing Eye, important to the Zionists, the same people that are behind all of this numerological coding, from rigged news to sports events to Church of Satan. Until next time.